What if everything you thought was stable, time, space, identity, even memory, was about to shift before your eyes? Petra Logan has been studying celestial alignments for decades, and what she reveals now is not just another forecast, but a spiritual timeline of global transformation. Starting April 2025, Earth begins a 3-year cycle of vibrational acceleration unlike anything we've known. You're not just watching history, you're living the energetic reboot of our planet. If you felt internal shifts, vivid dreams, or a strange anticipation building, this is why. What's coming will challenge what you believe, but reveal who you truly are. The 3-year energy corridor begins in April 2025. April 2025 marks more than a date on a calendar. It's a spiritual ignition point encoded in planetary alignments centuries in the making. Petra explains that multiple celestial bodies will converge in positions that haven't occurred together for over 2 millennia. This convergence acts like a master key turning in Earth's energetic lock, unlocking a new phase of human evolution. From this moment forward, energy begins moving in waves, not lines, meaning timelines will ripple and transformation will occur in layers. For many, the first signs of this energy corridor will appear internally. Feelings of deep release, soul-level urgency, or even physical sensations like buzzing or time distortion. This isn't anxiety, it's activation. You are being synchronized with Earth's shift, pulled into resonance with a higher harmonic field. Petra notes that those who resist this inner movement may experience emotional turbulence, while those who embrace it will feel a strange new lightness, even amid uncertainty. These 3 years are not random, they are encoded with purpose. Earth will enter what Petra calls a sacred recalibration window, where light, thought, and intention will hold exponential power. The choices you make, the truths you accept, and the frequencies you embody will shape not only your path, but the collective future. You're not just entering a phase, you're entering a corridor of consciousness that only opens when humanity is ready. And now, it is. Earth's grid is entering a new feedback loop. Imagine Earth as a living network, a grid of light and energy that stretches beyond mountains and oceans, beyond even what our eyes can see. In April 2025, that grid doesn't just upgrade, it begins to respond. Petra reveals that Earth is entering what astrologers and spiritual physicists alike call a quantum feedback loop, where every human thought, emotion, and vibration echoes back more powerfully into the field. What you think will now think back. This isn't just spiritual metaphor. It's physics meeting metaphysics. As the grid accelerates, intention becomes command. You may notice that synchronicities aren't just happening, they are multiplying. Manifestations that used to take months now unfold in days, sometimes hours. Petra emphasizes this is because Earth's energetic infrastructure is becoming more responsive to conscious frequency. The veil is thinning, not just spiritually, but energetically, making your every output a mirror that responds in real time. But there's a responsibility here. Just as love echoes back faster, so does fear. Just as clarity brings instant alignment, confusion can bring chaos. This new loop isn't about punishment. It's about refinement. The universe is teaching you how to speak fluently in energy. Petra's advice: become intentional with your vibration. Learn to pause before reacting. The grid is no longer a background hum. It is alive. It is intelligent. And it is listening. Awakening clusters. Have you noticed you're meeting people lately who feel strangely familiar? As if you've known them across lifetimes, or as if they carry a piece of your own soul in their words. This is no accident. Petra shares that from April 2025 onward, Earth enters a stage of soul convergence, where like-frequency beings begin to magnetize toward each other, creating what she calls awakening clusters. These aren't friendships based on shared hobbies or backgrounds. They're soul-level alignments orchestrated by the new planetary resonance. As Earth's field becomes more vibrationally refined, those who carry matching light codes will find each other effortlessly. These clusters will form globally, across nations, timelines, even belief systems. People will simply feel drawn to one another and find themselves building spiritual hubs of higher intelligence without needing permission or structure. Petra sees these clusters as the new spiritual infrastructure of Earth. They will be centers of clarity during chaos, healing during upheaval, and remembrance during transition. These are not just groups, they are missions. You will not need to find them. You only need to become fully yourself, and they will appear. When souls remember their frequency, they find their family. This is what the next 3 years will bring: reunions of purpose. Time will feel like it's falling apart. If you felt that hours are stretching or collapsing, or that entire weeks feel like a blink, get ready, because Petra warns, time itself is breaking pattern. From April 2025 onward, the linear structure of time will begin to crack. What we've known as past, present, future will overlap more frequently. Memory may flash without prompt. Visions may come without sleep. Time won't just bend. It will dissolve, and in its place, presence will rise. The reason? Earth is stepping out of Chronos, mechanical, linear time, and re-entering Kairos, the divine flow of soul time. In this state, transformation doesn't happen in sequence, it happens in frequency. Petra says you may suddenly understand years of spiritual lessons in a single moment, or leap beyond long-held wounds without going through traditional healing cycles. This is the gift and challenge of time's collapse. Healing no longer requires delay, but you must learn to navigate it. You may forget appointments, feel out of sync with clocks, feel like yesterday and 20 years ago happened in the same breath. It's not mental confusion, it's spiritual expansion. Your soul is no longer subscribing to Earth's old timeline model. Petra advises anchoring into breath, not schedule. Into presence, not planning. Because in the space where time unravels, truth reveals itself fully. Why your thoughts now affect global fields. Every thought is a broadcast. Every emotion is an imprint. Petra reveals that between 2025 and 2027, this truth will no longer be poetic. It will be palpable. The Earth's energy field is entering a phase of maximum receptivity, where the mental and emotional frequencies of individuals will ripple into the collective grid faster and farther than ever before. You'll start to notice that when you shift your inner state, the outer world reflects it almost instantly. These aren't just spiritual effects, they are tangible. Collective meditations will shift weather patterns. Group prayers will calm seismic activity. And most importantly, individual awakenings will ignite widespread clarity. Petra calls this the ripple age, where the internal becomes external with unprecedented speed. It's a time of great potential and deep responsibility. If you've been careless with your inner narrative, now is the time to become sacred with your self-talk. The beauty of this shift is that one aligned soul can offset the confusion of thousands. Petra urges you to no longer doubt the power of your vibration. A single moment of gratitude, a quiet intention, a thought of peace. It now echoes through the planetary matrix like a harmonic note in a grand symphony. You are not one small voice. You are a frequency tuner for Earth, and your clarity can shape the future. Living between layers of reality. From April 2025 onward, many will begin noticing an eerie yet mystical sensation. the veil between dimensions becomes porous. Petra describes this as the onset of dimensional overlaps, where the rigid walls between realities, what you once called dreams, déjà vu, or imagination, start bleeding into waking life. These aren't hallucinations. They're glimpses of other layers of truth, pressing gently into your awareness. You may see repeating patterns, flickers of color, or feel the presence of someone who isn't physically there. Time may pause in strange moments. You might even feel yourself facing between versions of your own life path. Petra explains that Earth is aligning with an interdimensional corridor, allowing individuals to witness echoes of timelines they are energetically connected to but haven't fully stepped into yet. These moments can feel surreal, but they are signs of an expanding consciousness. To live between dimensions is to become a bridge between what is seen and what is real. This is a gift, an invitation to move beyond the five senses and learn to trust your inner compass. Petra advises grounding yourself while staying open. Speak to your guides aloud. Acknowledge the strange. Don't dismiss what you can't explain. Explore it. Because as Earth continues to rise in frequency, you'll discover reality isn't collapsing, it's multiplying. Astrology's role in divine recalibration. Astrology has always been more than horoscopes. It's the blueprint of collective movement. But Petra reveals that from 2025 through 2027, planetary alignments will function as celestial synchronizers, recalibrating both the Earth grid and human consciousness in waves. These aren't just transit dates, they are energetic turning points, coded with divine intelligence meant to awaken collective stages of evolution. Jupiter and Uranus will spark flashes of genius and rebellion against outdated systems. Neptune's movements will flood the subconscious with truth and dissolve spiritual illusions. And when Pluto re-enters Aquarius, Petra says we'll see a digital soul revolution, the return of divine sovereignty through technology and intuition combined. These transits are not abstract, they are soul agreements playing out across time and sky. Your personal astrology will feel amplified too. You'll notice life themes intensify around your nodal axis or Saturn return. Petra encourages you to follow your chart like a map, not a limitation. These planetary rhythms don't trap you, they tune you. And when you understand that astrology is the soul's clockwork, you stop fearing change and start dancing with it. Gaia's solar chakra activation. Most people speak of Earth's energy as something beneath our feet, but Petra reveals the real ignition is rising from within the Earth herself. Starting April 2025, Gaia begins activating her solar chakra, a massive energetic center located near the planet's core, symbolizing willpower, sovereignty, and the fire of divine direction. This is more than metaphor. It is a vibrational surge that will impact everything from tectonic rhythms to personal power. You may feel this as heat in your body, a need to assert yourself, or a magnetic pull toward purpose. As Gaia's core frequency rises, humans connected to her consciousness will start stepping into roles they once feared. Petra says this activation is why so many are suddenly realizing their time as observers is over. They are being summoned as initiators. The Earth's core is not just stabilizing, it's empowering. As this solar chakra awakens, you might feel called to shift careers, speak truths, or end cycles of self-suppression. These are not coincidences. Gaia is rising, and she's pulling you with her. Petra reminds us, your courage is not just personal, it's planetary. What you do to reclaim your voice strengthens the planetary field. Your healing fuels hers. You are not separate from Earth's power. You are an extension of it. Why dream time becomes intense and unpredictable. From 2025 onward, sleep won't be a break from waking life. It will become the training ground for higher consciousness. Petra warns that many will feel astral disorientation, vivid dreams, emotional roller coasters during rest, and even waking up with physical exhaustion after sleep. This is because dream space is becoming a multidimensional classroom, and your soul is now enrolled at full capacity. You'll visit realms of memory, karmic entanglement, and future preparation. What feels like a chaotic nightmare might actually be an untangling of old timelines. What feels like a magical encounter may be contact with your oversoul or galactic lineage. Petra advises tracking your dreams closely, because many won't feel like dreams at all. They will feel like visits. Your astral body is no longer wandering randomly. It's being summoned with purpose. This disorientation can be overwhelming, but it's part of soul-level initiation. During these years, expect to remember more detail, feel emotion more sharply, and even carry guidance from dreams into your daily decisions. Petra encourages grounding through journaling, salt baths, and daily grounding practices. Because while your consciousness expands at night, your integration happens during the day. And this cycle, once understood, becomes one of your greatest tools for ascension. Why empaths will feel Earth's shifts first. If you've always felt the collective pain before headlines appear, if you cry for no reason or sense the tension in a room before a word is spoken, you're not overreacting. You're tuned in. Petra calls these people the spiritual seismographs, souls whose bodies and emotions are so attuned to Earth's frequency that they act as early warning systems for global energetic shifts. In this new 2025 to 2027 window, empaths will become even more sensitive, not because something is wrong, but because Earth needs receivers to help distribute, absorb, and recalibrate incoming energies. Your tears, your goosebumps, your energetic overload. It's not yours alone. It's Earth moving through you, signaling the shifts before they reach the physical world. But this gift must be protected. Petra reminds empaths to stop trying to carry what doesn't belong to them. You're not meant to fix the world. You're meant to feel its frequency, anchor its upgrades, and send healing ripples back into the field. This requires spiritual hygiene, emotional boundaries, and periods of deep solitude. Empaths are not fragile. They are the front line. And in this new age, your heart becomes one of Earth's most powerful instruments. Anchoring light in shifting ground. In a world where energy is shifting faster than logic can explain, your greatest skill will not be predicting what's next, but learning to anchor yourself in the present. Petra teaches that anchoring light is not just a spiritual phrase, it's a survival tool in this coming timeline. As Earth enters waves of transformation from 2025 to 2027, chaos will appear in old systems. But chaos is not your enemy. It is the environment in which lightworkers are forged. Anchoring means becoming unshakable, not by resisting the storm, but by becoming the still point within it. This isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more grounded in your frequency. You stabilize not with knowledge, but with knowing. Petra explains that every lightworker will need their unique toolkit, rituals, breathwork, sacred silence, or daily connection to the earth. These aren't luxuries anymore. They're lifelines. What throws most people off isn't the shift, it's the speed. Time compresses, energies accelerate, emotions rise, and many are swept up in the flood. But you're being trained to hold your center, to breathe instead of break. Petra reminds us that your inner world must be calmer than the outer one. Not perfectly calm, but deliberately grounded. In this age, stillness becomes a superpower. And here's the magic. The more light you anchor, the more you radiate. You don't have to preach, post, or prove anything. Your energy speaks for itself. People will feel calmer around you. Spaces will feel clearer. You will become a lighthouse, not because you shouted louder, but because you stayed rooted while the winds of change blew through the world. Your old identity will fade organically. Between 2025 and 2027, millions of people will experience what Petra calls a personal eclipse. But unlike a solar eclipse in the sky, this one happens within. It's the quiet fading of your old identity, the one you've outgrown, outlived, or never truly were to begin with. You might not even notice it at first. You'll just wake up one day and realize that who you were is gone. This inner eclipse is gentle but profound. Old habits lose their grip. Former goals feel lifeless. Social roles you used to play now feel like costumes. It's not a crisis. It's evolution. Petra explains that as Earth's energy rises, identities built on fear, survival, or social validation naturally begin to dissolve. This isn't about forcing change. It's about allowing the parts of you that were never authentic to fall away like autumn leaves. You'll find yourself in a space between identities, what Petra calls the sacred void. It might feel uncomfortable, even lonely. But this space is where the new self is born. This is where soul purpose realigns, values rewire, and energy contracts are rewritten. You don't need to rush into a new persona. The new you isn't something to create. It's something to remember. And remembering takes stillness, not striving. Eventually, you'll emerge, not as a better version of your past self, but as a more accurate reflection of your soul. The personal eclipse doesn't take away who you are, it reveals who you've always been beneath the noise. And Petra reminds us that when your true essence shines, no title, name, or label can contain your light. Receiving celestial upgrades beyond words. Not all messages come in language. Some come in vibration. Petra shares that starting in April 2025, the most powerful upgrades won't be spoken, taught, or written. They'll be felt. These are the codes in silence, waves of divine intelligence transmitted from higher realms directly into your energy field when your mind is quiet enough to receive them. These codes bypass the logic centers and travel through your cellular structure, awakening dormant knowledge, healing emotional wounds, and enhancing psychic clarity. But they only activate in stillness, not silence from the world, but silence within. Petra says that as external noise grows louder, politics, media, algorithms, your soul will crave inner spaciousness. That space is where the downloads drop in. You may feel this as sudden realizations, body chills, or deep knowing without any clear origin. You might find yourself understanding complex ideas you've never studied or speaking truths you didn't know you carried. That's the code awakening in real time. You're not learning, you're remembering. These celestial frequencies are returning you to your multidimensional intelligence. The future of healing from 2025 onward. Medicine is changing, and the shift won't begin in hospitals. It will begin in consciousness. Petra explains that the years 2025 to 2027 will mark the true rise of quantum health, a system where healing comes not just from biology, but from belief, frequency, and coherence between the mind, heart, and field. Illness will no longer be seen as a defect, but as information. This new era of healing will focus less on symptoms and more on vibration. Light therapy, sound frequencies, energy recalibration, and intuitive diagnostics will become more widely understood, even if not yet widely accepted. Petra reveals that healers and sensitives across the globe will begin receiving divine blueprints, new modalities channeled directly from higher realms, designed for the upgraded human template. Your role? To trust your body's wisdom. The aches, the fatigue, the waves of emotion, they are signals, not problems. Petra says the body is not breaking down. It's adapting. You may be called to detox, fast, change your diet, or simplify your lifestyle. Follow the guidance with reverence. This is not about perfection. It's about resonance. What your body wants now is to become a mirror for your soul. Unlocking psychic tools hidden in the human blueprint. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've had abilities lying dormant in your body all along, like antennas waiting to be activated. Petra calls this the return of soul technology, a phenomenon that begins accelerating in 2025. These are not sci-fi fantasies or spiritual exaggerations. They are real, encoded tools within your DNA that are now being unlocked by cosmic frequency and conscious intention. These abilities include telepathy, energetic healing, aura sensing, precognitive dreaming, and interdimensional perception. For some, they will surface subtly, a strong intuitive nudge, a spontaneous knowing, a sudden connection to someone's emotions across distance. For others, they may emerge through intense spiritual initiations. Petra explains this is because the light body is evolving, and as it activates, so too do the hidden systems once accessible only to mystics. But this activation is not instant, it's attunement. Your psychic tools unlock at the pace of your integrity, not your curiosity. They respond to purity of intention, emotional maturity, and willingness to surrender ego control. Petra encourages treating these gifts as sacred, not sensational. They're not for performance. They are for service. They're not for escape. They are for embodiment. Why you become the sacred space. The sacred is no longer hidden in stone structures or ancient ruins. Petra reveals that between 2025 and 2027, a new spiritual architecture will rise, and it will be built not from marble, but from conscious human presence. You become the living temple, not metaphorically, but energetically. Your body, your breath, your light field becomes the holiest place you'll ever stand within. This shift marks the end of spiritual outsourcing. No more placing all your power in gurus, institutions, or rituals disconnected from personal experience. While those paths served in the past, this age requires sovereignty. Petra teaches that sacredness now lives in the way you walk, the way you listen, the way you hold space in silence. You are not entering sacred places. You are one. You may notice that others are drawn to your energy without knowing why. You might walk into a room and shift its frequency without saying a word. This is not ego, it's resonance. You've cultivated inner stillness and light, and your field broadcasts that vibration effortlessly. Petra encourages treating your life like a ceremony. Speak with clarity, move with grace, and cleanse your inner altar often. Galactic disclosure through consciousness, not news. The big reveal won't come from television, it will come from within. Petra says the long-anticipated galactic disclosure won't be broadcast on mainstream platforms, but will be experienced individually through the expansion of consciousness. Between 2025 and 2027, countless individuals will begin remembering lifetimes off-planet, connecting to non-terrestrial soul families, and receiving wisdom from galactic councils, not through sightings, but through soul resonance. You may begin to feel a magnetic pull towards certain star systems, Pleiades, Sirius, Andromeda, or feel emotions you can't explain when gazing at the night sky. These aren't obsessions, they're echoes. Petra explains that many humans walking the Earth today carry galactic DNA codes designed to activate only when Earth reached a certain frequency. That moment begins now. This shift in awareness won't be about believing, it will be about knowing. Information will come in visions, dreams, even channeled insights that feel ancient yet familiar. The Earth will not be told she is part of the cosmos, she will remember it. And you, as her child, will remember with her. Petra reminds us that true disclosure isn't exposure, it's integration. You don't need to wait for permission to connect. The lines are already open. The guides are already listening. And the greatest evidence of galactic truth will not be a spacecraft. It will be the inner awakening that tells you, beyond all doubt, you've never truly been alone.